So first of all, thank you all for joining. My name is Mark Barrow and I'm a solutions consultant for 3DEXPERIENCE and SOLIDWORKS, a Dassault system. So over the next 30 minutes, we're going to take a look at how the 3DEXPERIENCE platform can help design teams and businesses collaborate better. As we go through the webinar, at any time you can ask questions in the questions tab in the GoToWebinar application. Before we get going, I just want to make sure everyone can see the screen and hear me clearly. So I'm just going to run a quick poll. Just make sure everyone can see everything. So I'll just give you a few seconds to do that. So I think there's a few of you that said you may be having a few issues with the audio video. So you can use your computer audio to listen to the webinar. You can also dial in. There's a dial-in number available as well. Okay, so we'll close the poll. Okay, so I think that's pretty much everyone. Everyone's on board, so let's get started. So how do we collaborate and do things today? So before we get into the detail, let's take a look at, let's do another poll to see how everyone collaborates today. So there's obviously a wide range of ways that we all communicate in our day-to-day kind of business workings, collaborating with our team members, working on design projects, collaborating with other parts of the business. So if we look at some of those options in the poll, and they're typical ways that we all communicate with one another. So it'd be good to get an idea of how we all communicate today, first of all. Okay, so I think pretty much so everyone's. Let's give it a few more seconds. You can just see how many of you have voted. So that's pretty much everyone. Okay, so email, as expected, emails are obviously a big part of everyone's working lives and communication. It's good to see quite a few there using cloud-based file sharing services. It's obviously going to be a big topic for this morning as part of a presentation. So that's great to get that information. Good. Okay, so let's take a look at, well, let's go into this in a bit more detail. So we'll see, in addition to email and other things we've talked about there, we have lots of face-to-face meetings as well. Been doing this forever, and these are great, but when we're doing these meetings, how do we recall what's been decided? How do we keep agendas intact to make sure everyone turns up with the right information, like action items and previous minutes? Do you find as well that you spend a big chunk of your time sat in meetings? So we're seeing now that many companies are now making a big effort to streamline this and streamline how we capture information and reuse information. And a bit later on in the presentation, we'll see how the 3DEXPERIENCE platform can help. So we use all kinds of other methods as well to communicate. So phones are great. They put us in touch with our customers and suppliers. And they've become absolutely critical for our kind of day-to-day working, but we still need to make sure all the information is not lost in the process. And keeping on top of actions and the ability to trace ideas and decisions is critical. And if we can do this, then we can be far more productive. Many of us share information with others too. Often we need to share large data sets like SOLIDWORKS assemblies, drawings with others. And this is why file sharing systems can really help us. And I'd imagine that's probably some of the reasons that some of you are using the cloud-based file sharing that you mentioned on the poll. However, we absolutely have to be in control of what we are sharing and with who. And we also want to make sure that how we share files is secure and simple and built right into our day-to-day processes. So emails, yeah, we've already talked about this a little bit. I don't think we're ever going to replace them, but we all need to use them as a fallback from other ways of communicating. And we all get lots and lots of emails, and quite often, many of them are plainly irrelevant to our day-to-day job and get in the way a bit. And this can be a huge source of frustration at times. What starts as a simple broadcast message or a plea for help spreads into a behemoth of information that turns your day into a never-ending mess. You can often get reply after reply saying okay or cheers that fill up your inbox. So imagine, now what happens if someone forwards the email onto someone else and they break the chain, and they are now completely out the loop to the original recipient. So it all gets pretty messy. And I'd like to bet that we've all seen this, and it always ends up in frustration and quite a bit of wasted time. So maintaining a consistent stream of communication is critical in today's environment, and in a moment we'll see how we can help. So that's a bit about how we do things now. So what about the future with the 3DEXPERIENCE platform? So what is it? The 3DEXPERIENCE platform is a cloud-based business-focused platform that enables design teams using SOLIDWORKS and the wider business to collaborate together far more effectively than using traditional methods that we've just talked about. And just as importantly, it doesn't matter what their job function is. Collaboration is right at the heart and the ethos of the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. Currently, lots of engineering data and knowledge is stuck within the engineering department. That's pretty typical in many design and engineering companies, and I'm sure many of you constantly need to communicate and collaborate with people in these other job functions, not to mention customers, suppliers and partners spread around other organizations. And it can be painful when we rely on email, phone calls and other methods. And a 3DEXPERIENCE platform helps us break down these barriers and gives us more time to do what we do best, and that's making great products. So today I'm going to focus on social collaboration services, or SCS for short. So this is our base level of capability within the 3DEXPERIENCE platform, but it offers a huge amount of value. All your design information is accessible by anyone, anywhere and on any device, provided of course you give them the correct access. Design data like SOLIDWORKS parts, assemblies and drawings, and in fact any other electronic data, can also be stored on the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. You give access to what you want and who you want securely and safely. And you have access to global communities where you can participate in forums, blogs, gather knowledge, share knowledge, helping you to get better insight into the products and practices that you use. So let's take a look at what social collaboration services can do. So we're going to cover three main areas, but these are not extensive in terms of your capability within SCS. Dashboards. So let's start by taking a look at dashboards. Dashboards are the entry point to your daily work. They let you gather and reuse content from the 3DEXPERIENCE platform, the web and other data sources in your company in a simple and unified view. You can have specific dashboards linked to the roles that you have been granted. And dashboards can be shared with other members of your team, given a single source of the truth of all aspects of the business and not just product design data. 3D Swim. The 3D Swim is the central hub for collaboration within the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. It allows you to create and participate in communities around common areas of interest, and you can post blogs, comment and exchange ideas with everyone, or even focus groups of individuals. And then lastly, 3D Drive. So 3D Drive is our cloud storage application. It allows you to securely store and access files on the cloud from any device, anywhere, anytime. You can share information with whomever you need to, whether they are already accessing the 3DEXPERIENCE platform or external users. So that's a bit of background on what the 3DEXPERIENCE platform is all about, and specifically social collaboration services, the kind of the foundation to the 3D Experience platform. So what we'll do next, let's take a look at SCS in action. So in our demonstration scenario that I'll take you through, we'll take a look at two designers that are working together to improve the design of an off-road wheelchair, developed entirely in SOLIDWORKS by our friends at Icon Wheelchairs in Denmark. So we're going to start with a designer called Mark Schneider, as you can see at the top there. So Mark has logged into the 3D Experience platform for the first time. So this is totally a browser-based environment. So there's virtually no IT overhead to getting this set up. You're not having to install software locally or on your servers. So this is all running on the cloud. And we're going to take a look at a number of different aspects of 3D Experience. So first of all, we're going to take a look at creating a new dashboard. Then we're going to look at creating a new design community for our new wheelchair design. We'll add some SOLIDWORKS files using 3D Drive. And then we'll look at how we can visualize those files within the 3D Experience dashboard using 3D Play. And then we'll make some changes using SOLIDWORKS, show you how you can interact with SOLIDWORKS in the 3D Experience platform and manage your data. And then we'll finish up with a bit more collaboration. So first of all, Mark receives a message from Jeremy. So within the 3D Experience platform, within your dashboard, you can just message team members and community members. So this is a little bit like using tools like WhatsApp or Skype, but you're doing it in your business tool. So Jeremy's got a new idea for a new design. So what Mark's going to do is create a brand new dashboard for this design. And then we're going to create the dashboard layout, and then we're going to share it a bit later on with Jeremy. So first of all, we're going to create a new community. So in our dashboard, we're going to drag out the 3D swim widget and just add it to our dashboard view. So a lot of these different areas that I've talked about, 3D swim, 3D drive, you can literally just drag them out and lay out your dashboard so it gives you a tailored view of all your information. So what we're going to do next is create a new community. So this is going to enable all the team members to collaborate together on the design project. So we'll give the community a name, which is Icon Design, and then we're going to add Jeremy to the community. So typically in a working environment, you'd add all your team members. So it could be design team members, other members of the business. And then what we're going to do is create a blog post in our community. So you can think of this as a little bit like Facebook for engineering or business. So we've added a blog post. Mark's uploaded a screenshot of the design so far, and you can see he's added some comments to the blog post as well. So next, what we're going to do, before we share all of this information with Jeremy, we're going to add the SOLIDWORKS files, and we're going to do that by using 3D Drive. So 3D Drive is just a great way of being able to manage your SOLIDWORKS files and store them and share them as well within the 3D Experience platform. Then you see Mark's just drag and drop them from a Windows folder into a 3D Drive folder in the dashboard. So as he's doing that, then the 3D Experience platform is going to manage all of the references between the files. So it's going to understand where all the parts are referenced within the SOLIDWORKS assembly, if there's any drawings referenced with any of those parts. And you can think of this as a little bit like Google Drive or Dropbox. So these files can be synced with a local folder or a network folder. So as people make changes to the designs, then the view within the 3D Experience dashboard gets updated. So what you're viewing is always the latest and up-to-date version. So with those files added, what we'll do next is just add 3D Play to the dashboard. So this is 3D Play. You can think of this as a little bit like eDrawings for 3D Experience. So this allows you to view and interrogate your designs, but also other documents as well. So it could be PDFs even. So just a quick search for that assembly and a quick drag and drop into the 3D Play window. So it's kind of nice and easy to move things around just by dragging and dropping. And you can see we just had a quick spin around of the model to look at it. But there's other functionality that we haven't shown here. For example, you can section, you can mark up, you can measure. So you can really get in and interrogate the design using 3D Play. So that's our dashboard laid out. So what we might want to do now is actually share this dashboard with Jeremy. So that's a simple share, type in Jeremy's name, and then we'll message him as well within the 3DEXPERIENCE platform, just using the messaging tool. So pretty straightforward stuff, but really easy to do all of this in one place rather than having to use different apps that are separate to all of this on our computers. So let's switch to Jeremy's view this time. So Jeremy gets a notification that a dashboard's been shared with him, and now Jeremy receives that layout. So now Mark and Jeremy are collaborating together on the same dashboard. So Jeremy, as part of the community, can add some ideas. For example, add blog posts. So you can see Jeremy's added a new idea. So as you generate the blog posts, you can categorize them into posts, ideas. You could create your own wiki pages, for example. So there's a whole host of different categories, and then you can search and filter on different categories. So for example, if you're adding design ideas, it's a great way of kind of capturing everybody's ideas within a design team and then being able to review those amongst the team. So you can see Jeremy's added an electric motor idea. So maybe we're going to look at replacing those handlebars at the back of the icon wheelchair there with an electric motor instead. So let's take a look at how we work with SOLIDWORKS then and 3DEXPERIENCE. So Jeremy's going to go to SOLIDWORKS, and then using the 3DEXPERIENCE task pane, we can search on the SOLIDWORKS files within 3D Drive. So we're going to look for that icon top level assembly, and we can just drag it out to open it. So we're going to skip on a few steps here and not show you every single modeling step. So we've removed the handlebars, and we've fast forwarded a few steps in the SOLIDWORKS process and added an electric motor to the gear on the rear wheel there. So now we've modified our design, coming back to the 3DEXPERIENCE dashboard, then Jeremy's going to add a new blog post. So he's uploaded a screenshot, as you can see there. He's put some comments to go with that other team members will then see. And what you'll also notice as well in the bottom right hand corner in 3D Play, the kind of the live view of the design on the dashboard is updated as well with those design changes. So everything's staying up to date as we make design changes and move forward. So next, let's switch back to what Mark's seeing as all of this is going on. So Mark gets his blog, his community, his dashboard updates. So he's got the new design that he can interact with in 3D Play, and within the community, so Jeremy's electric motor idea, Mark likes it, so he's going to give it the go ahead. So these posts that are categorized as ideas, you can actually set up a workflow effectively where you move these ideas through different states. So new ones go in as new idea in this example, and then they move to concept, and then move, if we decide we want to move forward with those ideas, we can move them forward to project plan. And these are completely configurable, so you can have as many stages here as you want. So it's just a fantastic way of capturing all of your design ideas as the design evolves. And the great thing about this as well is you can always go back and look at all of this information. It doesn't get lost in someone's inbox. It doesn't get lost in old meeting notes in other tools like maybe OneNote or Google Drive. It's all within your design community that you're working in. And something we haven't touched on in this video as well is we can also invite other people outside our organization into our community or into 3D Drive to share SOLIDWORKS designs. So if it's a particular supplier that you're working with, or someone else just collaborating on the design with you in a separate company, then you can give them access to the community, and they can be adding posts, commenting on design ideas as well. So it's an absolutely fantastic way of just getting everyone working much closer together. So that's a little example of how 3D Experience platform works on a kind of basic level, the kind of the foundations of the 3D Experience platform, which is what we call social collaboration services. So by using these tools, we can definitely be more confident that more people are involved in all of our decisions, no matter where they are or what they do, whether that's within your business or whether it's other companies that you're collaborating with externally. And it's a really powerful way of getting everyone the right information, and importantly, with the right access. And as you can hopefully have seen in that little demo example, it's a great way of facilitating much better collaboration, and it ultimately improves the efficiency of getting your products out the door and importantly to market. And something I touched on earlier as well, it's important to understand that this is all browser based, so there's a very low IT overhead. There's nothing to install apart from the 3D Drive widget if you want to sync your files locally, and it's automatically upgraded as well with new functionality every quarter. So you're not having, your IT teams or yourselves are not having to go around and keep updating things on every engineer's machine and install extra software on the server. So it's very low overhead and very quick to get up and running and get up to speed with. So now the exciting bit, or the even more exciting bit, I should say, for everybody, is the fact that if you're an existing SOLIDWORKS customer and you're on maintenance, then you will receive one license of social collaboration services for every license you have on subscription, with 5 gigabytes of storage per user as well. So, for those of you on the webinar that are on subscription, then you can go to the SOLIDWORKS website. If you go to solidworks.com, you can request access, or just contact your account manager, your reseller, about this as well, and we can look to get you set up with your own login and 3D Experience environment. So we've got there's been a number of customers that have been using 3D Experience platform now. We've got many people out there using it. So there's just a few quotes from some of the people that have adopted it and been using it over the last couple of years. So, what we're finding with many customers is an increased need for better collaboration. So we've already touched on that. So that's one thing that people are finding this really helps with. And it's not just a tool for the designers as well, even though we've focused really on a little design scenario this morning. It can be used throughout the business. Other teams within your company can use the community aspect, share their own files, their own documents, office documents within 3D Drive, and build their own communities for their own teams and share information with the rest of the business. So it's not just a tool for the engineering teams. So if you want to learn a bit more about the tools, then you can visit, as I mentioned, solidworks.com. And if you go to the product section and social collaboration services section of the website, there's a lot more information there. You can also go to mysolidworks.com, and if you do a search for the business innovation training, there's a really good 2-3 hour training track that you can work through that takes you through some of the content that we've looked at this morning, but it goes into all of it in a bit more depth. So if you're interested in learning more, I strongly recommend going to mysolidworks.com and looking at the business innovation training. And also, as I mentioned before, contact your reseller to get on board and get yourself access to the 3D Experience platform. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the presentation. What I'm going to do next, I'd like to run another poll just to get some feedback on what we've looked at. So if you'd like to learn a bit more, if you want to be contacted by a reseller or by SOLIDWORKS for more information, then let us know. If you're interested in diving straight into it, then obviously let us know as well. Okay, great. I think that's pretty much everyone that's voted, so thank you for that.